Paper and Stone, an audio excerpt from the play by Zindika. First, a brief introduction by director Ayesha Casely-Hayford.
You're about to hear an excerpt from Paper and Stone, first produced in 1990 and written by Zindika. It is set in London. At first read, I found this play quite distressing, and there is a lot to tackle in it. It is written at the end of the 1980s and was performed in the 1990s. To me, it's clear who Zindika is speaking to. The play hits on all the heavy and painful issues black women and black people go through in England and also in the USA. What really inspires me about the play is the uniqueness of how it is set up and structured. There are naturalistic scenes with action and then related stylized or symbolic scenes, and I just love that because it gives such a breadth of opportunity for creativity and dramatic expression. In the complete play, there are 6 symbolic scenes framed by 10 naturalistic scenes. My challenge then was to capture this on audio. I've selected from both the naturalistic and stylized sections to make sure a sense of both is included. The 3 characters in the play are Martha, Brenda, and Juliet. Martha is a traditional Jamaican woman and 7-day Adventist. She is Brenda's mother. Brenda is the youngest of Martha's 3 children and the last one living at home. Brenda regularly attends church with her mother and has been an obedient and protected child. She is 15 years old and heading towards university to study law. Juliet is also 15, but in contrast to Brenda, was abandoned by her parents as a baby and never knew them. She has lived in a number of foster homes, but always felt like a stranger, never fitting in. Each of the characters doubles up with an abstract persona. Martha is C. The author Zindika says that as C, Martha amplifies or represents the play's message for the wider audience. The character of Brenda doubles up as stone. The characteristics of stone, Zindika says, symbolise Brenda's hidden qualities, which are hard, robust, and with a cutting edge of granite. And the third character, Juliet, has a double persona of paper, which Zindika describes as soft and fragile with a blowaway quality. There are so many ways this might be shown on stage, with costume and colours, for example. We have tried to capture it in voice and presentation of the words, and also sound effects as the excerpt storyline flows. In the excerpt you are about to listen to, you will hear the very start of the play, which introduces the uniqueness of the play's structure as the characters begin in their abstract personas of sea, paper and stone. It also sets us up for the play's main theme, which I would describe as a journey towards personal autonomy, losing childhood innocence. We then move to a selection of scenes that are not in the chronology of the play itself. We start with a naturalistic scene that is set in Juliet's flat. Brenda has just moved out of her mother's house to live with Juliet in an attempt to reclaim her youth and have some more freedom. The young women have been to a party, and the play narrative picks up just after. We then go to a stylised scene, where Zindika looks at the casual treatment of the vulnerability of black women in society and their invisibility. Following the stylised scene, which is presented with canned laughter as a comment on the darkness of the topic, we go back to Juliet and Brenda in Juliet's flat to continue on their conversation. Another stylised scene then follows again, this time involving Martha. For the character of Martha, Brenda's mother, I have chosen a stylised scene between Martha and Juliet. Martha and Juliet are sharing the stage, but are not in the same space. And although the lines they say interweave, they are not having a direct conversation. Juliet is drunk, and Martha is having deep reflections and flashbacks. The scene allows us to see the link between the generations, the empathy and the pressures of the migrant experience, and in particular, the friction between the migrant generation and their British-born children. We also have an opportunity to consider how culturally there are some things a parent will not, perhaps cannot, tell to her child. I'm interested in Zindika's building of a bond between Martha and Juliet, sharing a wider sense of womanhood, unity and love. We then move back to Juliet's flat to complete the conversation between Brenda and Juliet. Through the naturalistic scenes that take place in Juliet's flat, we see Brenda and Juliet struggle and then transcend. One of Brenda's lines to Juliet can just have easily been said by Brenda to Martha, and perhaps to us all. I know you've had a tough life, but why go on making it tougher? We end the play with a stylized scene that is like a statement piece. This is the scene that ends the actual play. My grandmother, Mrs. Rebecca O'Donkor, sings the Ghanaian lullaby in the play. The play itself refers to the inclusion of a Ghanaian lullaby, but does not specify which one. After discussions with my family back home in Ghana, we have chosen the one included for its popularity and also its fun, which I hope you will agree Granny delivers on. In such a heavy play, the lightness and freedom of the lullaby is a positive and wholesome takeaway. I hope you enjoy this creative selection of excerpts from Paper and Stone.
Baby Cafu.
Baby Cafu.
Baby Cafu.
1, 2, 3, go! One, two, three.
Scissors cut paper.
1, 2, 3. Paper wrap stone. 1, 2, 3.
Scissors cut paper.
1, 2, 3.
Stone break scissors.
1, 2, 3. Paper wrap stone.
Once innocence was pure, unsoiled, untainted mind, like paper did soar and travel like spores falling from tree in the wind.
Once paper was a tree, a whispering tree, a magumo tree, a tree standing firmly rooted against the elements that swayed it daily.
Once innocence was pure,
Unbridled, walking without fear on a clear day, trudging a path through fertile minds, a bridge over a stream laying bare its porous limestones and flintstones glittering like a mirror on the water. Once innocence was pure and thin.
A traveller, stumbling unaware blindly to its destination. Once innocence was pure.
once innocence was ours to keep, but foolishly we released it in the wind.
Innocence.
Baby, careful, never manage it. Light, many she humble. It's not papa. I'm here come my you. In humble for you. Tono. Come mommy ba makele. Come papa ba makele. Ta te. Yeah. Wish you.
Never missed till it's gone. Who saw it? A prey cornered at dark. Who heard its fearful screams? Who watched it disappear into the darkened trapdoor, shut? Once innocence was like tears masquerading on a sorcerer's face, the smile on the face of the carnival queen as she dances. Once innocence was every mother's lullaby.
Baby, careful, never Mamieti, light, many she humble. A sharp papa. Hamia come my you. In humble for you. Tono. ke mami ba makele, ke papa ba makele, ta te, ye, ta fuama, ya, wish you.
Once innocence was every black girl's lullaby, until she woke up to find the world had built a maze around her door. And there was no way out. Once innocence, stranded, snatched like the sea breeze from inner city shores.
Ke mami ba makele, ke papa ba makele, ta te, ye, ka fuama, ya, wish you.
Wanted to leave.
Shut up! All night long, I had to stand in that grubby little room.
What if you dance instead of just standing there?
I did dance. Dancing is fun, you said. Well, it isn't. It's hideous and sleazy. Wear this top, it suits you. Wear this makeup, you'll look beautiful. Style your hair this way, it's more attractive. Cinderella at the ball, you said. You'll meet your prince. Well, I certainly did meet him. And he wasn't a prince, Juliet, and it's all your fault.
My fault?
Yes. It's all your fault. I should never have let you talk me into going to that party. And this skirt of yours is full of jinx. You should have never worn it.
That's it. Give me back my skirt. I thought I was doing you a favour. But you don't deserve to wear anything of mine. Take it off and wipe off my makeup. I want everything back that I gave you. You're too wet. You have no class. Well, I won't let you crack my style. You'll never change, Brenda. You'll be like this for the rest of your life. No man will ever be attracted to you, and you'll end up a bitter old spinster with no memories because you wouldn't have done anything to remember because you never lived.
No. It's not true. I wanted to go to the party. I wanted to enjoy myself. I tried. It's not your fault, Juliet. It's Carl.
Carl?
Yes. He raped me.
Carl raped you? When? Where? Brenda, my God!
I only went out in the garden for some fresh air. And he followed me. At first he asked me to dance, and I thought it wasn't a bad idea. No harm in that. He seemed so nice. In fact, he reminds me of a boy at college. Outside we talked for a while. Then I noticed that he was getting closer and closer to me. Before I knew it, he was pulling at my clothes. His hands were everywhere. I told him to stop. I didn't want him to do that. It wasn't nice, but he just ignored me, so I screamed. First a little, then a little louder. But no one heard. The music was so loud. I kept saying no. He kept saying yes. I like you. I like you very much. Brenda. He kept on saying it to me as if it was meant to make it all right. So that's when I got really mad and I slapped him. He pushed me away, saying I was a stupid girl. I fell backwards onto the ground. That's when I noticed the wind was dying and the sky was coming closer. It was damp as I laid on the grass. I felt awful, really awful, and angry for letting him do that to me.
You know we have to go to the police, don't you?
The police? No.
Yes. Yes, it's best. I'll get you a jacket. We have to go now. They've got to do tests and things.
No! Juliet, promise me you won't tell anyone. The shame and disgrace on her. Promise me you won't tell anyone. You saw how Mum carried on when I wanted to leave home. What do you think she would do if she found out about this? It would finish her. Finish her for good. Promise. No one must ever know, and certainly not my mother. I feel bad enough as it is without everyone knowing about my shame.
Okay. We won't do anything for the moment, but no man does that to any woman, especially my friend, and gets away with it. That's why we can't just sit here and leave it. I mean, he might be out there roaming the streets right now, looking for some other woman to attack. I know what. I've got some mates. They'll sort him out.
Sort him out? What do you mean? Juliet, wait! Wait! They won't hurt him, will they? I don't want anyone getting hurt because of me.
Of course they'll hurt him. That's the idea. Don't feel sorry for him. After all, he did hurt you. Didn't he? He did hurt you, didn't he? He was violent. He did hit you.
Well, no, not exactly.
What do you mean, no, not exactly? Brenda, are you telling me the truth?
Of course I'm telling you the truth. What do you take me for?
I'm sorry, it's just that you seem so uncertain all of a sudden.
I'm not uncertain. I know exactly what happened.
So what did happen?
I told you.
Well, tell me again.
Don't you believe me?
Of course I believe you, but I just want to get the story right.
He had his hands here and there and there.
And? And you said that he had you on the ground. Well, what happens after that?
Well, as I said, he walked off and left me lying there as if I'd done something wrong. As if I'd offended him. He touched me. Juliet. He touched me. He had no right to.
You keep saying he touched you. Is that all, Brenda? I thought you said the man raped you, meaning he's knocked you about a bit, had his pants down and his fingers round your throat, you know, crazy, violent, maniac kind of rape. I nearly had the pussy out looking for this man, and all he did was touch you. Brenda, women are always getting touched up on the tubes, the buses in broad daylight, much less at a party. It happens all the time, love.
Well, it's not happened to me before.
Well, that's because it's you. You've led a sheltered life, Brenda. You just don't know how to handle the situation. That's why you're getting this whole thing out of proportion.
Out of proportion? Juliet, the man had his hands up my blouse. As far as I'm concerned, that's rape. Am I supposed to accept that kind of treatment in silence?
No, I'm not saying that. Look.
No, you look. It's my body. No one touches it without permission. I say yes and I say no. And when I say no, I mean no. I don't want it to be interpreted any other way. It's as simple as that. He had no right, Juliet, no right. Can't you see he assaulted me? If only you knew how I felt, Juliet. I can still feel his hands on my skin, his breath on my face. He really scared me.
I do know how you feel. I'm a woman, aren't I?
Yes, but it didn't happen to you, did it?
How do you know it never happened to me? I used to know this girl once. She was innocent, trusting, shy in a way, just like you. She wanted to wear makeup early, you know, try and look older. Womanhood was calling, so tempting, and she couldn't wait for the law of the bright lights and the opposite sex. She liked going out to parties, painting the town red, but most of all, she liked getting sloshed on the most potent liquor she could find and waking up next morning not knowing who had had carnal knowledge of her. She was into anything and anyone. It made her feel wanted, accepted. She had all her boxes to open and she wanted to open them all at once. You know, like the big-eyed kid at a Christmas tree. When she'd finished opening all her boxes, she wished that she hadn't. But it was too late. There's no turning back.
Who are you talking about?
You, me, anybody. I'm talking about everybody and nobody. Look, I don't know why I've done all the things I've done in my life. The men I've slept with, danced with, can't even remember their names, their faces. Why did I smile when they molested me? I should have been angry like you, but I wasn't. I should have screamed rape, but I didn't. I don't know why. I didn't know I had a choice, I suppose. I didn't know I could do anything else. Anyway, they all said they loved me, and I fell for it. Who can argue with love? Not me. Like Romeo and Juliet. They loved each other to the grave. That's love for you.
Are you sure you're not confusing love with sex, Juliet?
Well, at least I ain't sitting around waiting for the perfect man to pop up. That's a myth, Brenda. You'll see.
Well, you know what they say, Juliet. Give them an inch and they take a foot.
Well, I have my own sayings here. Men are like fags and booze. You know they're bad for you, but you just can't give them up. Talking about fags. Look, Brenda. I know you must think I'm a really bad woman. It's all my fault, you ending up here in this flat, the party, being manhandled. It's all my fault, isn't it? I'm sorry. What else can I say? I wish you could be pure for the rest of your life. Is that what you want me to say? I wish I could say it. But fortunately, life isn't like that. The dirt touches everyone eventually, even you.
Well, I'm not going to stick around for that to happen to me. I was safe at home.
Go on then, run back home to Mum. Better still, why don't you become a nun? Look, Brenda, see the world as it is. The world stinks. I know it does, and you know it too.
I never say it. I don't know why I never say it. I shuffle alone, hustle through life, but I never say it. Why can't I say it? Only one thing I know how to do, and that is nod. So come in then. Yes, please, to anything. My advice then. What's on offer? Big Mama, Steel, Miss Exotique, Tiger, Leopard Skin Rose. Move your ass there. See her wiggle. See me whine. Oh, you men are all the same.
There she was, walking the streets, shoes with heels like the Manhattan skyline, tottering on the edge of self-annihilation. Hello, sugar. Are you working?
Of course.
How much?
Depends.
My name is Hans. I have a car. It's not far. I like the little coloured girls. They're hot. Have you a friend? I would like to.
There she was, dressed up for the night. Thinning men, wispy lives, bold men, shifting eyes. Men without wives, salacious disguise. Watch her subtle walk. There she was, walking down into the house of sleaze, where the hard eyes gorged her, their gum-diseased mouths slur her. She closes the curtain, a wet rag slaps her face. She's marked for life. An old man passes her, wrapped in rags and swilling ye old English cider. Her innocence is beheaded whilst crouching at the door.
But where do black girls go? Where them there? Where do they go? Has anyone ever wondered? Where do black girls go to carve out a mediocre dream for themselves? Where do black girls go if not to heaven?
She carried on pursuing the grand life she had heard so much about. The champagne caviar parties, escorting entrepreneurial quests on her arms. The pink eyes burnt through her flimsy attire. Callous hands stumble on her flesh. And lips curled abuse at men who refuses to see her. Yet assault her with his white-hot eyes and molest her with his imposition.
Where did they go? Perhaps they choke on their invisible life, like their mothers before them. Invisible life, which no one sees and no one knows.
Got to say it. Got to scream it. I can't take any more. Got to shout it out loud. You can't have any more of me. No. That's it, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this anymore. Where's my bag? Okay, yep, I'm gonna pick that up.
Was it something I did? Will you stop doing that and tell me what it is? Here, try one of these. It'll make you feel better. I feel better already.
You're always trying to force things on me, Juliet. Try this, try that. Well, I've had enough.
It's nothing.
If you want to mess up your life, feel free. But don't try and mess up mine as well. I'm leaving.
Look, you can't leave me in this place by myself, Brenda. Please. I'll get down on my knees and beg if you want me to. I'll change, give up smoking, drinking, even men. Not another man shall cross this threshold, I swear. Except for Kelvin, of course. I'll be a one-man woman from now on. And my cigarettes. Look. There. My ganja. There. Down the drain. Satisfied?
Don't kid yourself, Juliet. Give up what you like, but don't give it up for me. Give it up for yourself. Anyway, it's not just the drinking, the weed, or the boyfriends. It's us, Juliet. Us. We're too different.
Different? What are you talking about? We're women. We're the same.
We might be women, Juliet, but we're not the same. You're just trying to make me the same.
So you're just going to walk out on me? Some friend?
I'm not walking out on you, Juliet. I'm walking out on the woman who's confused, bitter and self-destructive. I know you've been through a tough life, Juliet, but why go on making it tougher? You have to face up to yourself, Juliet.
I didn't ask for a sermon. You're no different from the rest, Brenda. Things get a little tough and ditch Juliet. Story of my life. Juliet knows the score. She's been there before. What right have you got to leave me anyway? Look at you.
Touch me.
You're nothing without me. You've got no friends. You've got no social life. You'd still be stuck in that house with your crazy mother if it weren't for me.
At least I've got a mother. Oh, I'm sorry, Juliet. I didn't mean that.
Don't touch me. I hate you. I suppose you think you're better than me, don't you? Well, you're not. I suppose because you've got a mother and you're a Christian, you go to church, that makes you better than me. Well, it don't. My mother may have dumped me, right? But at least she gave me something you'll never have in a million years. You see, I inherited her beauty, and you're just jealous.
That girl treat me bad. Since she leave home, not one phone call, much less a visit. She throw away the church. She throw me away. She throw away everything I ever gave her. She says she wants to taste the big wide world. Now the taste sweeter. She don't have time anymore.
God, I can't stand self-righteous people. What you call dirt, I call life. Life is what everyone is living, except you, Brenda. I really thought we could be truly friends. Looks like I was wrong.
I'm nobody's mother anymore. I have no children left, not one. Them all leave me, one by one. Brenda gone. Now my punishment is complete. I left empty, light, and hollow like a calabash. Lord, I know you don't deal in revenge, but I know I feel somehow somebody has reaped their revenge on me. The first gone, now the last is gone.
I hope you don't come back, because as from tomorrow, this house will be filled with my life, my music, and my friends, all of them men. They'll fill my life to the brim. I'll show you I don't need you. Men will fill my life to the end, just like old times. Hey, I'll be Juliet once more. Juliet, Queen Bee, and free, just like old times. You'll see, Brenda, you've left no mark on me.
My God, what I did?
I was your guilty secret, your inconvenient arrival. A bad mistake, so you dumped me in a telephone box without a name, a history, a family, without an identity. I deserve love, care, mothering like everyone else, didn't I? I wonder, Mother, do you ever eat and sleep knowing what you did to me? I wonder, Mum, do you ever think of me as often as I think of you?
He used to come and see her, Miss Ida. Day and night, bring her fine things, underwear with lace, hats and perfume. Miss Ida, like a real white lady. His concubine. People say he owned acres of land. He owned a whole village. And he had blue blood. So them say. He had big red hands, like they could hold my whole head, like they could suffocate me. Dropping his trousers like a shot from a gun. The gun he carried all the time to shoot the blackbird in the field. His face gone greyish white like someone built a mask over it, a plastic mask. Only his eyes remain. Blood shot red. It was Sunday. He was boring to me and my back snapping like a twig. His hands drowning my screams. My back limp on the flour bags on the floor. The flour spilling out onto... Mommy! The little blood-stained bundle I pushed out into the field. My God, what I did.
Mommy!
And to the grass, it fell. It was colorless, striped with red and blue veins. It moved. It stopped to cry. So I ran. I run through the field with the air whipping past me, the long grass blowing like storm brewing. The wind took its scream over the grass and further away from me. Wailing, screaming, squealing. That sounds human. It sounded like a banshee. John Claude pick out its eyes, alive or dead, me don't know. I didn't know it had 2 arms, 2 legs, a face. I didn't know it was part of me. There's tears. Me can't see. The barbed wire, me can't feel the pain. I'm numb. The baby blood mingled. My baby's alive. I know somebody found my baby. Lord, forgive me.
Oh, look at me. I'm so ugly when I cry. So ugly. Oh, I must wipe this mess off my face.
I must find them. My babies. I lose too many. It's bus number 27. I must go there and make my peace with her. I must go now. Find her. But wait, I can't go empty-handed. I must take something. Where's that cake at the bake? Oh, it goes for name of that girl Juliet. I go and see them both. Take them the cake. They will be like, I must get my coat. Go quickly.
You're so lucky, Brenda. You've got your goal set. You know what you want. You're brainy. You're going to university. One day you'll be a big shot lawyer. Me? Who am I? What am I? Where will I be in 10 years' time?
Lucky? It's not luck, Juliet. It's hard work. Damn hard work. You think when I walk down the street anyone is going to see me as a big shot lawyer? No. They'll see what they want to see. A humble little black girl who's at the bottom of the pile. Someone they can walk over, ignore. Someone who's unthreatening, powerless. Someone who will never amount to anything much in their world. I have to be strong, Juliet. I have to be positive. I have to know who I am. And that means rebuilding myself from the core. Solid. It's hard work finding yourself, Juliet. And once you do, it's even harder holding on to yourself. You're a black woman. You can't rely on luck. Come here.
You'll know her by the songs she sings. Sometimes she's Bessie or Billy moaning blues. Sometimes she is Nina, listen to her mellow tones. Or Ella, emerging jazz. Her life has become your style. You'll know her by her songs. Sometimes a defiant reggae, dissolving into mournful, soulful lover's rock. Watch her, how she nurses that melody. Tomorrow she jumps to the Pocomania beat, talk in tongues. She's the chief wailer, the Zulu warrior stomping to her song. Sometimes she is a youthful girl rapper challenging boundaries. You'll know her by her songs. You'll know her by the mask she wears. She was the one afraid to look as the slave master marches off with her child to the auction block.
You'll know her. Those were her children hanging from trees. In the deep southern states, their heads at an awkward angle. The lynching done. The white men drink to her health. She hates them with all her heart. She sings Precious Lord. Whilst hugging a picture of her child. Tomorrow she will collect his bones for burial and she will be moved to blood-curdling screams which ricochet in the bullets of Soweto. Little black feet scatter. Too late, another mother's funeral. By the afternoon, her bruised fear must take her to Joburg suburb. There she will feed Master Reinsenkamp Jr. from her very own breast. You'll know her, for you might have tasted her bittersweet milk of sustenance.
Black women's eyes know only how to sing tears, how to watch evaporating lives float by.
You'll know her, for she is a frequent visitor to the institutions. The prisons are full of her offspring, so too the mental institution, the drugs units. Her son is on death row, USA.
He's black. He fits the crime, any crime. Lord, my child can't walk the streets because he is a crime.
You'll know her. Her arms are like thread holding frayed lives together. You'll hear her anguish voice bellowing from every shanty town of the world, favelas, trench town, Cape Town. Her eyes pan the cutters to her shack, which stoops on a hill. They huddle in the dark streets where the sun refuses to feed them, streets festering with poverty. Herself, she feeds on hope, her children on mealie meal, which she boils in the water from the cesspool around the town. Cholera and meningitis has taken 4 of her children. Tomorrow, she waits for manna from heaven.
Black women's eyes know only how to sing tears, how to watch evaporating lives float by.
You'll know her, for she lives in all the minimal rich countries of the world. She is the one sitting on the sidewalk, selling dry fish to survive. She is the one, the refugee, the famine victim, waiting for aid, charity, the crumbs that fall from the rich tables. She's the one.
Her life is in your hands, her fertility your right. The Great Mother experimented on to halt the black population explosion. She does not speak or cry. You'll not hear her despair. Her fury is silent, her suffering nameless.
Black women's eyes know only how to sing tears, how to watch evaporating lives float by.
You'll know her by her scars, the markings on her forehead, her arms, her back, her mouth. Her eyes that leave a deep impression in the darkness. You'll know her by the dents, the gaps in her life, the cracked smile. That's where her innocence once laid.
You know her by her songs.
Baby powerful, neighbor mamiti, light, mine she humble, papa, hamye kumayu, ihabo for ye, tono, kemami ba makele, papa ba makele, ta te, ye, kafama. Yeah, wish you.
That was Paper and Stone, an audio excerpt from the play by Zindika. Juliet and Paper were played by Kutanai Chihuahua, Brenda and Stone by Anne Akinjiran, Martha and C by Pamela Jukiemi, and The Voice of a Lullaby by Mrs. Rebecca Odonkor. The director was Ayesha Casely-Hayford.